Hi there, this is episode 2 of the Hudson Gross podcast. I'm your host, Hudson Gross, and today I'm honored to have a good friend of mine, Rhiannon Kowalchuk, with me. Rhiannon has just graduated high school, and she's hoping to become a great actor slash teacher. Rhiannon has played trumpet throughout school, and she has a very angelic voice. I can say so from experience. I hope you enjoy this episode as we talk about school, music, and for some reason, attention spans on this podcast episode. Hey, welcome to the podcast. How's it going?
Thank you. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Um, so let's just start off. Can you tell us a bit about yourself, like your life and how it's been so far?
Well, right now it's a little crazy just because grad season and graduation is like a thing, I guess. So being busy with that, and I like just finished all my stuff, all my classes really, because I had like one last project in English so long. I finally handed that in, and I don't actually think I did it entirely right, but it's fine because it's done. And then I didn't fail my math final.
That's good.
Or my math class, so I passed with a 58%.
Oh, wow.
C minus, baby. It's a pass. I'll take what I can get.
It works.
And then, I don't know what I got in English. I think I got a decent mark. I was at an 86, I think, before I handed in my last project, so it was like pretty steady. But those are my two like stressful classes in my last semester, so.
Yeah, I just had math and philosophy, and I almost
Philosophy.
aced math. Philosophy, I did not ace.
Really? I love philosophy.
I did too, but for some reason I just
Oh, was it the final?
Yeah, the final
I
was
messed
really
up the
bad.
final really bad because I had all like the questions right, but then when you had to write the essay, I like completely screwed it up because I like the topic I chose. I don't think I fully understood. Like I don't test well, so like I don't. It's not even that I get stressed out. I just get like really in my head, so I don't think anything's right, and I
Fair.
stress out about it. But I do well on like projects and stuff like that. So
So what's your plan for the future now that you're finally graduated?
well, I really want to go into drama, either like teaching it or performing or any of that sort of stuff. So I'm going to Capilano University, which is in North Vancouver, for the Acting for Stage and Screen program. It's a 3-year program, and I'll get my diploma for it. And if I really want, I can audition to get my master's in London,
Oh, that's cool.
like in England. So for 2 years, I can do that, and then be like really expensive and a lot of work to do it. But it's a possibility, so I might do that. But yeah, and then after I graduate, like Capilano, I don't really know what I want to do.
So do you think that you want to be a drama teacher, or do you want to be a music teacher, or how's that all working?
I don't know. I think I want to like see what I can do with my diploma first, or see what I can do with my experience in like the industry, and then eventually settle into teaching. Because after school, I do want to travel a bit, see what's out there, and then after a while, if nothing sort of comes up, then I want to like look into like teaching a class, preferably high school.
Yeah.
I would not teach middle school or
Yeah,
younger.
me either.
Like maybe college, but high school's like I feel like vibing with teenagers is kind of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I that's basically the same as me, like, but with physics. 'Cause I want to I want to do physics and then like, do something in physics, see what I can do
Yeah.
with the degree or whatever. See if maybe I want to be like a professor or something like that. And then probably settle on.
Yeah, because that's also what I was thinking is that like if I get my master's, then I could teach college level
Yeah.
drama or like performance stuff. So I could maybe do that. But yeah, I'll probably settle for high school. It's likely if that. But
Yeah, because also what I've seen from like college level drama stuff, like it's very much like, I don't know, Shakespeare and
yeah, and it's very like it's not like a
It's
drama
intense.
class. It's like
Yeah.
actual
Yeah.
like theater, learning about the history of theater
Yeah,
and
exactly.
like a lot of written stuff. Like you're doing script studies and stuff like that. It's not just
Yeah, especially if you go to like England or whatever.
yeah. Yeah, it'll be intense. Lots of Shakespeare, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
It's like Shakespeare's kind of like the OG like thespian. So
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
he wrote the plays. He never acted in them.
Yeah. Did he?
I don't think he acted in his shows. I think he just wrote them.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, and then was like I think it's Dionysus, however you say his name. He's like the Greek god of theater or something like that, or performing. It's something along those lines. And then yeah, Shakespeare is the one that like wrote a bunch of plays and wrote a bunch of like poetry and stuff like that, and he kind of created theater for the. I don't know history very well, however long ago that was.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't really know that much about Shakespeare. Like especially because in drama they don't really teach us that at all.
No, because it's like boring to students. Personally, I love Shakespeare.
Mm.
Like, because in grade 7, I did like a theater camp and we did Macbeth, and it was so
Oh, yeah.
fun. It was so interesting. And then after that, I like fell in love with like a lot of his plays and stuff like that. Or I really like the Romeo and Juliet version with Leonardo DiCaprio. How
Oh
it's
yeah.
like modernized, but like still all in Old English.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen that version actually.
That one's really good. I liked
There's
it.
there's way too many versions.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, definitely. It's kind of hard to keep track with them.
yeah.
And then,
Yeah, I've just seen one version. I don't even know which one it is, but
because did you have to read that one in grade 7?
no, I
Or
did
no,
it.
not grade 7, grade 10.
Yeah, in grade
Yeah,
10.
I had to read it in
in
grade 10
English.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Read Romeo and Juliet and To Kill a Mockingbird.
Oh yeah. I think we read
Lord of the Flies.
no, we read. Oh yeah, we did. And also Life of Pi. We
Oh,
did Lord of
okay.
the Flies in grade 11.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I think Lord of the Flies is a grade 11 thing.
Yeah.
I never read that one, but I heard a lot of people.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Isn't it like they get like trapped on an island or something?
Yeah, it's like a bunch of boys on an island.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Well, that's like the premise of the thing.
No spoilers.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm not
I
gonna
read it,
say
so
anything.
don't spoil it.
It's really good.
I'm never gonna read it because I don't care that much. It seems like a mediocre book at best.
Yeah, it's hard to understand.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So how do you write music? Like, how do you write like lyrics and like melodies and stuff like that? Like, how does that all?
Okay. Well, I have like just mediocre guitar skills, like very, very mediocre guitar skills. Because in like 7, maybe, I taught myself how to play ukulele. So it was just like teaching myself basic chords and whatever, and that was fairly easy. Because it's just 4 strings, right? And then I don't know, you kind of like I have like a main strumming pattern I use, and I kind of like mix myself up sometimes, like with different ones. But yeah, so I started with ukulele, and then after a while, I really wanted to learn guitar. So I started seeing a music teacher or a singing teacher, and she taught me a little bit of guitar. So I learned some of that, and I learned some basic chords, and then just sort of played around with it much.
Mhm.
And then that was kind of as far as it went. And then, mm, yeah, then COVID hit. I had a lot of time to like practice
Yeah.
and do whatever. So I practiced with that, and I literally just would go on guitar tabs and
Yeah.
find stuff I could like use. And then yeah, so I would write all my songs on ukulele, and I would just like make like cheesiest like most like teenage girl like woe is me lyrics ever
Yeah.
when I was like in grade 9. Yeah, 9 is when
Mhm.
and then yeah, so I just wrote like the cheesiest little lyrics, and I hated all of them. But I was like, I'm a songwriter, so I would, like I'm a singer.
I can
I know
totally
it's
see that too.
yeah, like a pretentious little like music kid, but it was not very good. I still like if I scroll the way into my phone and find like voice memos of like old songs
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
wrote, or I find like in my notes app, I'll go and look at all the lyrics I wrote. Like, oh, those are so bad. Like those will never see the light of day ever.
Yeah. in my notes app, I have like random quotes that I made myself for myself.
What does that even mean?
Exactly.
Like, what do you
No,
mean? Like, what do you mean quotes? Like, be like, have a good day, Hudson.
no, it's
Dash
like
Hudson 2023. Like, what kind of quotes?
no, it's like I don't know, like keep your head up, you got this, like stuff like that.
Inspirational.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm laughing with you, not at you, I promise. It's
I
my
feel so
notes
bad.
app. It's kind of like quotes from people, like things that people say. Um,
Like funny ones or like
yeah.
yeah.
Like, I have one where I was talking to Liam, and I was like, Liam, should I be a fairy? And he looks at me and he goes, like the boat? I was like, no.
What?
And it's just one of those things where it's like, it's funny saying, but it was also like, you have to be there to find it even funnier.
Yeah.
But it was just so random and weird. But it's just stuff like that in my notes. Or it's like things I'm like, because I don't know how to like use the reminder thing on my phone. So I just put it on my notes
Oh
app.
yeah.
I'm like, I'll go back to this eventually. And I usually remember it. So like, does that. And there's just stuff I haven't deleted yet. So,
Yeah.
but most of it is like bad lyrics or lyrics I haven't finished yet or unfinished songs and stuff like that.
So do you have trouble with like writing lyrics or
Sometimes, yeah, because I don't really like a lot of the stuff I make sometimes, so it's like
hmm.
I'll write it and then one day I'll be like, this is a masterpiece. I'm going to produce this and it's going to be great. And then the next day I'll read it and I'll be like, what the heck? Like, this is awful. Like, I never want to see this again. Rhiannon, you suck. And then it's like a vicious cycle of me doing that. And then I'll go back and be like, oh, this is really good. And I'll go back to it. And it's just kind of stuff like that. But yeah, so sometimes like a random like wave will hit and I'll be like, "Oh, I'm just like writing all of it." And then other
Mhm.
times it'll be like I don't know what to say. Like, I have nothing to write. And then finding like guitar chords, like I said, very mediocre guitar skills, so I know how to just like play basic chords. Or
Yeah.
sometimes I'll just put my fingers on random strings on random frets and be like, "That sounds nice," and I'll use it in the song. So it's like whatever. And then they're like, "What note is that?" I'm like, "I don't know."
Oh.
It's like some sort of A. I don't know. Like it's something.
So you were in music comp class.
hmm
Did you do that like 2 years in a row?
Technically, no, but like technically, kind of. So in grade 10, I had so that's when we were doing the quarter system when I was in grade 10.
Oh
So
yeah,
it was the
yeah.
two classes a day, like each was 3 hours and it was brutal. But basically, I had a math class and a spare. So I asked Mr.
Oh
Bukert,
jeez.
yeah. So I asked Mr. Bukert if he could teach me how to use Reason, which is the music like composition stuff we use.
Yeah.
So he taught me a little bit how to use Reason and just sort of like the basics of how to like record your vocals and how to layer vocals and how to record an instrument and things like that. So I just kind of got used to it. And then I officially took music comp in grade 11 and actually took like a course. And then that was really fun. And I got to make my own song then. And then I put it into CBC Searchlight competition.
Mm.
And then this year I didn't take music comp because I wanted to take a drama class, but music comp and drama were in the same block. So it just
Oh
didn't end well and I felt like
yeah.
having a drama class would look better for university.
Yeah, that's true.
So, especially if I was going for acting.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, 'cause they're hardcore.
yeah, so we took a drama class instead. But then I had a spare in my last semester, and I had work experience for Mr. Bukert in my first semester. So on days that he didn't really need things done, I would try and work on some stuff upstairs and like in the recording rooms. Or and then during my spare, I'd come in there sometimes if I wasn't busy with homework and work on my own stuff, and I just never really finished it. But I'm gonna try and go in Monday or Tuesday and record some last minute stuff and see if I can get anything because Mr. Beaker is okay with me coming in, but we'll see if I can actually finish anything. But yeah.
So you guys just had your music comp concert.
hmm
How did that go? Is that good?
It went really well. I felt like a little uncomfortable because I'm like, I am the only kid here that isn't in music comp technically.
Mm.
But when Mr. Bukert first came up with the idea of music comp concert, he's like, "Hey, Rhiannon, do you want to be in our music comp concert?" And I was like, "Oh, like sure, like I'd love to. I'm technically not in music comp, but I'd love to. It's like, okay, cool. And then a couple weeks passed, he's like, and I was like, hey, am I still doing the concert? And he's like, yeah, if you want to. I was like, okay, I guess so. And then I showed up last night to the concert, and I was like, oh, these are all music comp students. I feel really bad that I'm here. I don't want to take like anyone's thunder or like kind of give
Yeah.
that vibe where I'm like, I am like technically not in this class, but I deserve to be here, you know? And that's what
Mhm.
I thought it was giving, and I got really scared for a bit. It's like, Mr. Buchert, hey, that I'm here. He's like, yeah. And I was like, because
Yeah.
I got nervous about that, but it went really well. Everyone's songs were like so incredible. Like everyone is so talented. So it sounded so good. But yeah.
That's good. Yeah, I always like I wanted to be a music comp, but just so I could like hear other people's music.
Yeah. No, it's really interesting. Like a part like I really like music comp, but it always makes me just a little bit insecure because I'm like, damn, that sounds so good.
Yeah,
Why can't
exactly.
I sound that good? Or it's just like, oh, why didn't I think of that when someone creates like this
Yeah.
beautiful chord progression, or like they're like a master at finger picking on a guitar, and I'm like, I can't even strum properly. So
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
things like that. But usually like after a while, you kind of get comfortable with stuff, like your own strengths, and like it's like there's only so much you can. Like obviously, people are gonna have different strengths with.
Yeah,
Be good at what you're okay at.
exactly.
Yeah.
Try your best at what you're good at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably a better way to put it. Be okay.
Yeah, exactly. Just do your
Just be
best.
good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do better
Do better.
the time.
So do you know how many songs that you've made?
Mm. I have a lot of unfinished ones.
Yeah.
So there's one that I did for the CBC Searchlight competition. That's like one of the only finished ones, I think. Like one of my main finished ones. In grade 10, I started working on a song that I tried recording. Never really got anywhere with that. Um, there's the one I was working on with Piper. We just never really got to finishing that one. But like it's all like we have it all planned out. It just never got recorded.
Yeah.
But it's a great song. Piper wrote it, came up with it. And then I have two songs right now that I want to record really bad, which I've been working on for a bit. And then I have one finished one that I don't think I'm going to record, but I have it. And then just lots of unfinished stuff in my stuff I come up with randomly, like, oh, that'd make a great lyric. I'll write it
Mm.
down, and then I just never really do anything with it.
So what's your main goal in life? What are you trying to achieve?
I really want to like be successful with acting, like whether that means like fame or like getting recognized, or just like being appreciated for what I do,
Mm.
things like that. Like it sounds like cliche and kind of like, but I kind of want to be known as like an actor, be like, oh, like my Kowalchuk, or like, oh, like I really liked Rhiannon in this movie, things like that. It's like that's kind of like every like aspiring actor or aspiring artist's dream is to be recognized
Yeah.
in some sort of way. So it's like that's kind of it. But if that doesn't work out, like I'll like the goal is just to be happy with what I'm doing. I never want to get stuck in a place where I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't want to be here anymore. Obviously, there's going to be the bad days and things like that, but um I don't want to be stuck in like a 9 to 5 where I hate my life or it's
Yeah,
just it
me
feels
too.
so repetitive. Like that sounds like a living nightmare. Like living the exact same day over.
Yeah. Yeah, the 9 to 5 is very scary. I feel like a lot of the 9 to 5 is going to be replaced by like robots and stuff.
Yeah.
Um like especially in, in the next like 30 years or so.
Mhm.
Um but yeah, it's kind of scary like thinking about that
Mhm.
like a lot of jobs are going to like just disappear because of that.
I know, and it's also scary because it's just like how are people going to afford things because things just keep getting more, right?
Yeah.
So it's like if people don't have jobs, then like are people going to afford things because they're placing them with like artisans or things like that. So it's a little tracking state of.
Yeah, no, literally with like ChatGPT and stuff, it's like, oh my gosh, we're so much like farther ahead
Mm,
than we thought. Like,
yeah, I know, and it's just like it's like scary because it's just like we're already this like far like progressed. Like how much more is it gonna go?
yeah,
Like how far into like technology are we like use like left of like what left of like the normal world are we still gonna be 20
mm,
years?
yeah,
Grocery shopping gonna be completely digital now, or like it's just things like I don't know. It's scary.
yeah. I think there's gonna be a real like epidemic of people realizing that in order to keep their jobs and to like actually have money, that they either have to be like famous or they have to have a job that like like you have to be really creative
Yeah.
for. Um, yeah, and that'll have a lot of resilience. Um, yeah,
I scared
yeah,
a lot of power. I feel
yeah,
like it could control a lot of things we don't have that we can't. So it's just like
yeah, and there
think about.
with especially with ChatGPT, like like all of the education system is gonna have to be revamped. And so that now like lots of tests will have to be in person, like especially in college, a lot of stuff is done online
Yeah.
because it's easier to have people at their dorms or whatever at their houses.
Mm.
But yeah, it's all gonna have to be in person now and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna be scary, and like
Definitely.
we're gonna be like right in the middle of it.
Yeah, that's the thing that like freaks me out the most is that like we're kind of evolving like we're evolving with it, right? Like we weren't like born into a generation where like we just had the things. Like we were
Right.
kind of like the iPhone progressed as we got older, like we started
Yeah,
off with like a
exactly.
little iPod touch and then eventually we're at like what iPhone 14 now.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Like I just remember when like iPhone 10 or iPhone X or whatever it was came out and it was a huge deal.
Yeah,
And that wasn't even that long ago, but now it's like
yeah, exactly. It just
what?
keeps like like I literally have a like 12 mini, and it doesn't even make sense. I
No.
mean, it feels the exact same as my 8,
Yeah.
but
It's just like
yeah,
I know. It's like what's the point of making all of these things if you just put it into an iOS update? It's like these
yeah,
phones are fine, but then there's like the whole conspiracy theory where it's like when they come out with a new phone, Apple like makes all the old phones like glitch and stuff like that, or it makes it like so
oh
they
yeah,
want to buy a new phone because they're like, oh my phone's,
yeah,
and then it like gets really messy fast. But what's true and what's not, so
yeah,
that's the scary thing about it.
yeah, exactly. That's the scary thing.
Completely ignorant to anything like techie, that kind of.
Yeah, I'm very glad that I was also born before like wow, we still had this like iPod Touch and stuff like that
Yeah.
because the kids born in like the last like even 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
like oh my
They're
God.
like a whole different breed of
Yeah.
children.
Like oh my gosh. Like it's yeah, it's not
I know,
it's
because
not
it's like I don't know. It's just like kids like train their children with iPad and like
yeah, and they have everything handed to them
yeah.
like
And it's just like I get like oh like you don't if like a kid's having a rough time, I get like throwing them in front of a TV to just like whatever, right?
yeah.
But at the same time, it's just like how are they gonna cope? Like
I also think that throwing them in front of a TV, like with, there's like commercials and stuff like that, compared to giving them like an iPad or whatever,
mhm,
because an iPad can give you instant gratification constantly.
mhm.
Whereas like a TV, sometimes you have to like wait
Wait
through
for
like a 5-minute commercial or
yeah,
whatever, like stuff like that. I mean, not really nowadays because lots of people don't have cable, but
yeah.
like back in the day, like
Like like you'd go and watch a show and you would like there'd be commercial breaks, so you'd have to like sprint to go to the bathroom before you
yeah,
miss the show
exactly.
because you're not going to be able to like go back or like reverse it and stuff like that.
Yeah, or like there's like a show that you didn't like, but then it's
Hmm.
like, well, there's nothing else on. So
Exactly.
then, yeah, you just have to deal with it
I
or
know,
go
but
off.
then like it's like oh if like they don't want to watch this, they can just change it and watch something
Yeah, they
else.
could just keep swiping.
Yeah, and that's like crazy.
Yeah.
That wasn't like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I sound like such a boomer right now. I'm like, back in my day, we had to watch
Yeah.
television. We had to watch cable. But
Yeah,
like,
I think like my kids especially, like I'm not gonna let them do that.
yeah, like I feel like there needs to be like a limit with like screens or like how old you introduce them
Yeah,
to
I
it,
think that there should be an age limit.
especially with social media.
Yeah,
I
and just
think,
like the internet in general.
yeah, especially now, it's like literally only getting worse.
Yeah.
But like, I know like personally for me, I think I had social media at too young of an age, and I'm not blaming that on my parents at all because I begged to have social media.
Yeah.
All my friends had it, so I was like, I want social media too, so I can be cool. Um, and it didn't. It literally just destroyed my self-esteem, and I think that's a case
Mm,
for like everyone who had
yeah.
social media at too young age. I don't know. I think like having a age limit should be like demanded.
Yeah, like another thing is that when we give these kids social media at such a young age,
Mhm.
like there's so many like people on the internet that like you should not let your kids listen to.
No,
Like there's a lot of things that like can sway
there's
them and teach them stuff they don't want them to be taught. And
little incels and the creation of the manipulation of a young boy's
yes,
mind.
exactly.
A young boy's mind is very malleable and can be easily changed by
Yeah.
very not good people.
Yeah, and even with like models and stuff, like it
Mhm.
gives people these like falsehoods and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
it's just like it's created like eating disorders and self-esteem issues throughout like everything.
Yeah, like if you look at the statistics, I don't know the exact statistics, but like yeah, eating disorders and like yeah, like stuff like that
Hmm.
is just like skyrocketed,
Yeah,
especially in the younger ages,
yeah.
just because of social media. Like
Hmm.
it's crazy.
And to be fair, we have come a long way with like accepting like plus size and like different sorts of like beauty standards. Like things used to be way worse in like the
Yeah.
2000s specifically. I can remember like America's like next top model and like a girl would like I don't know, like 130 was considered fat and like things
Yeah,
like that. I was like,
exactly.
no,
Yeah.
not necessarily.
Well,
That's not really how it works. And then I don't know. I think people are just becoming more accepting of the fact that it's like you can be like, you know, two people can be like like two people can be born and eat the exact same things, the exact same amount, like calorie wise, everything wise, and they could still have two entirely different bodies just because it's
yeah.
how like what's the word,
Metabolism?
metabolism, yeah,
Yeah.
how that works with like a person's body because it can be slower or faster or just like
Mhm.
anything really.
Yeah, I wish that my metabolism wasn't as good as it is, so that I could actually gain weight. Um, yeah, because there's been times in my life where just wish I could gain a few more pounds. But yeah, yeah, the internet sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah, sometimes I wish that like even I wasn't as influenced by it.
same. Like I wish I wasn't as addicted to my phone.
Yeah,
Like I wish I wasn't as dependent. It's like it's always with
yeah,
me.
yeah.
Me
No,
too. It's just
I get
there.
that.
It's just a habit.
There's been times where I'm literally sitting at my computer and I'll like come downstairs to like whatever, go play a game or whatever.
Mm.
And I'm literally sitting here for like 10 minutes on my phone, like scrolling TikTok or
Well, yeah,
whatever.
like I'll
I'm
have
like,
a
what am I
movie
doing?
on and be like, ooh, I don't have the attention span for a movie. So
Yeah.
now I'm gonna go on my phone while the movie plays in the background so my mind can be stimulated with lots of noise. Like
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
ooh, like shapes and colors and sounds and my brain likes it.
Yeah.
So it's just kinda like that's sort of what happens. Like I always whenever I start a movie, I try and make a goal. I'm like, do not go on your phone. Like it's okay if you check a message or something, but do not like scroll. Because that'll
Yeah.
like then you're just gonna get distracted and then you're not gonna watch the movie. You're like, damn, I wish I watched the
Yes,
movie. Now I don't know
exactly.
what happened. And then I'm just upset in the end.
And then you like rewatch it and you're like, oh, I remember this
Yeah.
part.
And then you're like, oh, but I'm bored now because I remember this being on.
Exactly.
But I was on my phone, so I technically wasn't paying attention, but it was on, so I saw it, so I don't know.
Yeah, Abby gets mad at me so much because of that. We'll be like watching a show and I'm
Mm.
I'm like playing chess on my phone.
I mean, at least you're doing something like somewhat like stimulating to your
Yeah.
brain. You're not just like mindlessly scrolling.
Yeah,
You're just,
exactly.
like, playing chess.
Yeah. It's more interesting.
Fair. I mean, it's like the equivalent to like listening to music with like
Like while
that kind of,
studying or whatever.
yeah, but like also not at all. Because sometimes when I'm doing a project, I'll like put on a show for background noise,
Yeah.
but I'll usually put on a show that I've like seen a million times because it's like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
not actually gonna miss anything. It's just on for background noise, and if I just happen to get distracted, I can take a break and then come back to it. I'm not gonna like get super invested in the show because I've seen it before and I know what
Yeah.
happens. So if I do that, because sometimes I get really like into the music when I'm listening to music and studying, and then
Yeah,
my
me
brain
too.
can't focus on two things at once. But then if it's just like a show, like it for some reason it works. I've
Mm.
seen it before, and it's just like
Yeah, it's weird.
work for study.
Um, there's a thought where like is this, actually good for us? Like, is the attention span like rapidly decreasing? I mean, technically,
Technically,
it is decreasing.
a
Um,
lot.
quite a bit.
I have the attention span of 15 seconds, and that is like because of TikTok.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so I've actually done a lot of essays on attention span.
Okay.
So basically, the average attention span, for teenagers in like 2012 or something, or maybe it was less than that. It was 2000s. Teenagers in the 2000s.
Okay.
Their attention span was like 12.5 seconds
Okay.
on average. And then now, like the 2010 kids, their average attention span is like 8,
Mm.
something like that. And the funny thing about it is that they like did like a test on goldfish to try and see how bad their attention span was, right? Because it's a goldfish, like
Goldfish.
yeah, the goldfish attention span is 9 seconds. Yeah, yeah. So we're worse than goldfish for yeah. Um, yeah,
Yeah. It's like a little embarrassing. Like,
yeah, just a little bit, yeah.
I blame it on society. I blame it on technology and the internet. I am taking no responsibility for it because it is not my fault. It is the fault of everyone else.
There's also the thought that like when you have like the video, like Jubilee or whatever,
Yeah.
and then they have like lots of times like GTA or like the running game
Hmm.
like underneath, and they're
Oh, like Subway Surfers.
yeah, Subway Surfers, yeah, and so they're wondering if like is that really like attacking our attention spans?
Just imagine, because there's always like a movie playing, and then Subway Surfers right on
Yeah,
the side, and I'm like,
it's a little
oh,
clip.
I want to watch this movie, but I know I'm gonna watch that movie later, and Subway Surfers is gonna be playing, and I'm like, damn, this movie sucks.
Yeah.
Have you seen the videos where they're like trying to break up with your girlfriend and like in 2023, and they're like, hey, like I really need to break up with you, and they're like, huh? And then you put the Subway Surfers video, and they're like, hey, so I think we really need to talk, and they've got Subway Surfers on their phone, just like,
It's like also you know how there's like the new like Google like eyeglasses or whatever,
oh yeah.
and then it's like you're talking to your girlfriend, and then there's the Subway Surfers like right underneath her face, and you're like,
I love this game.
uh-huh.
Oh,
I'm listening.
oh, he almost died.
Oh, dang.
Oh, he's gonna get caught. Oh. So close. It's like, I'm trying to break up with you. Like,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Really invested. Just break up. Like watching so.
Anyway. Yeah, they were also thinking, you know, Oh, Vsauce, Michael. You know,
It sounds familiar.
Vsauce, Michael here. You know. Okay. Well, anyway,
Okay, I can pretend.
he's like a very thought provoking guy on YouTube.
Okay.
Um, and basically he was thinking maybe this isn't, like a new thing, and maybe it's not like as destructive as we think.
Hmm.
Because like back in the day, like you'd be like talking with your friend, but then while you're talking, you're like watching the birds,
Yeah.
or you're like
Or like
staring
when
at
you
the
go to
lake
like a
or
restaurant
whatever.
and there's like baseball or like hockey on,
Yeah,
it's things like that
exactly.
where it's like it's kind of harmless,
Yeah.
but at the same time it's also like slowly like interfering with our attention span.
Yeah. Like it's definitely not helping.
No.
Um,
Like
but
it's
yeah.
definitely not doing us any good things, but it's also not like
Like it's not new, this like
yeah,
TikTok thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's been around forever. We're just like
Yeah, it's just in a
it's
different
just
form.
becoming more obvious now.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. This is the deep question that I think I'm gonna ask everyone.
Okay.
I asked Isaac too. Um, so what is or will be your gift to the world?
Very deep. Hmm. I'm not sure. I want to say just like I don't know, like companionship or just like I want to be someone that people can come and I want people to like remember me as being like, oh, like she was a friend, or like,
Mm.
oh, like you could always count on her,
Yeah.
things like that. I want people to be like, um, I don't know. I want people to feel safe around me or feel like they can tell me things that like I'm not gonna tell other people, or like just like that kind of stuff. Like I want people to feel safe around,
Yeah.
like someone they can go to like uplift them, or like if they're having a bad day, they're like, oh, like I can go talk to Rhiannon and be like, feeling better now, or like
Yeah, and
simple
like
stuff
you
like
you
that.
won't judge them or anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I don't think I'm a very judgmental person when it comes to like friends, or like if they come to me
Yeah.
with a problem and they're like, I did this and I messed up, and I'm like, oh, like let's talk about it. Or
Yeah.
like TMI has never been an issue. Like tell me everything. I want the disgusting, dirty details. I want all of it, and I want to hear every second of everything that happened. Like I really think I'm judgmental in that sense. So it's just like I don't know. I want people to come to me and be like be able to talk about whatever,
Yeah.
because like I can listen. I don't necessarily am not always going to understand what's going on or things like that. Because obviously, if like they're like, oh, I'm struggling with this and I haven't dealt with it before, I'm obviously not going to understand where they're coming from.
Yeah.
But I will be there to like listen or try on answer.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think companionship or just like loyalty is sort of like put out.
That's really nice. I don't know. It's just yeah. Yeah, pretty much. um yeah, and then do you have any personal philosophies?
I really don't know if this is like a philosophy, but like I'm like very like fixated on death, and I always have been since I was like really young. Like I would go to sleep at I'm gonna die. What is death? Like I'm literally just gonna be dead for eternity, and I will find myself in a spiral. And that happens like at least once a week, and I'll get myself into like a spiral, and then I like can't breathe, and then I'm like, it's gonna
Dang.
die, and it's just sort of things like that. So on that note, I kind of like when I'm on like my deathbed, I want to be able to say I did it. Like
Mm.
be like I don't regret not doing, or I don't regret like that I did this. Obviously, I have personal regrets now that happened, like things like oh, that was a stupid idea.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have done that. But it's not like it's more like the I didn't take the chance
Yeah.
when I should have. So I never. I just don't want to. Like I don't want to regret anything. I'm dying.
Yeah, you don't want to regret like not doing something.
Exactly. Like when I'm older, I don't want to regret being able. Like I don't want to regret like not doing the thing that I could when I was like young and
Yeah.
things like versus like then when I'm old and I can't do it or just like
Where can people find you?
Instagram or at my house.
At my house.
I'm just kidding. Yeah.
The SoundCloud thing.
SoundCloud, it'll probably be on Orange Door Studios if I do release anything, because I probably won't release anything like privately. Or my YouTube channel, Rhiannon Kowalchuk. I don't really post anything on there. Sometimes I occasionally post stuff. Might post my capstone on there. I did like a little short film.
Yeah.
I might post that on my YouTube. And then, yeah, my YouTube is just Rhiannon Kowalchuk.
So that'll probably be in the description for the viewers out there that have watched all the way through. But
yeah, you're a real one if you're here to the end.
It's like only Abby.
Yeah. Hey, girl. I love you, mama.
Right. Well, it's been great having you on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I had a lot of fun. Some deep conversations about artificial intelligence and attention span. Good example that we also don't have good attention span.
Yeah.
Stay on topic.
Exactly. If you lasted through this entire video,
you'll get a high five. Because you got a decent attention span.
You're better than the majority of us.
You're better than me, because I would not be able to sit through this. I'm not gonna lie. If I were a viewer. Like, if I were watching myself, I'd be like...
Well, yeah. Yeah, watching yourself is a lot different.
Yeah. But, like... You'll have the attention span of a goldfish. A slightly dumber goldfish, but...
Alright, well, see you later.
Where's the camera?
Over there, yeah. Bye.
Bye.